Hey guys, Joe here, and this is the 16th delivery of this daily sketch series. I'm sorry about the video before. I had a really raspy voice in the beginning, but now I got a glass of water right here, and I'm actually doing like 4 or 5 voiceovers. I don't even want to count them today because as I said in the previous video, I select a lot during the weekend, and now I have to pay the price. And I've been procrastinating and trying to postpone these voiceovers for a while now. Even from the start of the week, I decided I was going to start on Tuesday to edit these videos and to add voiceovers and stuff, but I didn't do it. And now I'm dealing with the consequences. So yeah, it's not going to be fun at all because, as I said also in one of the previous videos, I don't remember which one it is, but I had to do something similar, which I had to record like 3 voiceovers, I believe, and it gets really tedious because maybe if you're doing one day, you have something new to share, but right now, like if you do 5 at a time, you might run out of ideas to talk about or to just tell a story or stuff like that, because maybe in the day that you were recording that audio or that video, you had something to share, but now if you have a bunch of videos that you have to edit, then it gets a little bit trickier. But yeah, we're going to do our best to just have something nice or interesting to share. And one of the things that I mentioned also in the previous video was that it was the last sketch that I was going to do on pencil, but I lied. This one, I didn't remember about this one, but yeah, this is the last one that I did on graphite pencil. For all of these sketches, I used an HB mechanical pencil. I didn't know that you could get different softness of leads for your pencils. I thought that it was just HB for the 0.5 millimeters and then a softer one for the 0.7 millimeters, but no, you can get different variations of softness and hardness for your pencil leads, and that's pretty amazing because you can really get a wide variety of just tones with the softest of leads, and so it's nice to know that you can buy those. I haven't looked them up if I'm being completely honest, but I'm pretty sure that Amazon will carry them, so if you're interested in that, maybe you can have a look on Amazon and see if they sell those LEDs that I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure they will, but if not, you can try eBay, and eBay is going to have them 100% likely, because if they had the colored LED pencils, I'm sure they're going to have different variations of widths and stuff for your mechanical pencils. And yeah, I actually got a few mechanical pencils that I want to showcase in a future video, because a few of you have been asking me which one I use the most, but I don't have a preferred one. Like, I use them for different purposes. There's one that I have that I just feel more comfortable grabbing and using in general, but just because I have been using it for the longest time. I got it since the start of college, I believe, and so I got really used to the grip and everything, so that's the one that I go to when I just want to be on my comfort zone. But it's not because it's the best of them all, it's just because it's the one that I'm more used to. And that's something very important to keep in mind when you're working with any sort of art supply, is that the more you're used to the supply, the better and easier it will be for you to create art with it, because you're going to already know what you can expect from your tools. And sometimes people say that the tools don't make the artist, but I believe that it's not actually entirely true, because there's a couple of effects that you can only get with certain materials. So it's also important to know that the tools do affect the results of your, like, whatever it is that you're drawing. So yeah, what can I talk about this piece? I've been using the Riley method, as you probably know by now, for a long time, and it's been really beneficial for me in the sense that it helps just break down the face in very easy steps. I never really consider myself to have had a lot of troubles getting like a face right, but my older sketches, I mean, they are pretty bad, honestly, but I didn't think I was doing so bad back then, but I was. But yeah, I never really thought about having a lot of issues with my drawings, but with this method I've come to realize that I did make a lot of huge mistakes in the sense of proportions and just placing of features and stuff like that. So I would highly advise you to give it a try if you can, because it is complicated. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's a complex method, at least for me. And honestly, when not doing art, I much rather do a more freestyle kind of way, but it does help you to improve your proportions and anatomy and all that stuff. So if you're looking to do that, then I would advise you to give this technique a go. Now, what you see me doing right now is just smudging the paper, because I've found that with mechanical pencils, if you're using an HB pencil, it's very easy to smudge. but not as easy that you will create a mess out of it. Like it's just going to smudge if you actually try to smudge it. Like it's not going to smudge by accident. So that's pretty neat about that softness of that HB softness. I'm sure that if you were to use a softer lead, like maybe an 8B or a 7B, maybe even a 5B, you would have issues with you like getting your hand too close to the paper and smudging it by accident. But with the HB one, it doesn't happen that often, or at all in my opinion. Like as much as you get are very minimal. And then what I like also is that they don't leave a lot of marks on your paper. Like if you draw very lightly, like cross hatching or doing a technique like that, then you're going to be just fine, because it's going to work out perfectly for you to blend with whatever tool you like to blend. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I blend the graphite on my portraits and stuff, and what I do to do so is to blend with a Kleenex. I know it's maybe not the most artsy thing you could probably think of, but it's just what works for me the best, because it gets it has as a result such smooth gradients, and I'm a very huge fan of smoothness, so yeah, it works perfectly for that. You can also use a napkin, or even kitchen, the paper towels you use for the kitchen. Those will work just as fine. And the neat thing about using paper as opposed to just your finger is that you don't get any of your oils, the natural oils that you have on your hands. Even if you can perceive them, they're there, and they're going to stain your work. Like the gradients are not going to be as smooth. And then whatever, if you're prone to having sweaty hands, I'm not, but if you are, then you're going to have a much harder time blending it. So I only use my finger for a few areas here and there, but for the largest areas of the portrait that I want to blend, I usually use a Kleenex, because it's just the easiest for me. There's a lot of people who like using these paper roll thingies that are in the shape of a pencil that are meant for blending. I don't remember the name of them right now, but I have a few. Or I think I just have one. Yeah, I just have one. I just see it. I just saw it here on that I'm recording at. Yeah, that's what I use for the smallest details, like the stuff that my finger is maybe too fat to work on. I will use that paper stump, I think they are called, and it works nice, but I feel like you have to sometimes press too hard to even smudge the graphite very well, and so I don't like that, because you get rid of the tooth of the paper, and then if you want to lay some pigment on top of that, it's going to look weird. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that tool, but it does work very nicely for small details. And yeah, I think we're drawing near the end of this portrait. I had a lot of fun drawing this, actually. I think it came out pretty nicely, and also this is my first time also experimenting with gesture lines, because I try to get the feeling of the neck and the position of the face first before trying to detail anything. And yeah, it was very fun because it adds some looseness to your portraits. And I think that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.